right. You were out at practice on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, they let us come in and watch the early periods of practice Friday and Saturday, and then we got to stick around and talk to the new coordinators. Not a lot new to report out of practice. Kobe Pace, running back, he was not in attendance either day. I was told he was dealing with a personal family issue. It was no big deal or anything. He'll be back. Joseph Ngata was practicing. He missed the final couple of games with an injury. He was practicing in a green jersey, which means he is allowed to do some drills and not live contact and stuff like that. So it looks like there's a good chance he might be back for the bowl game. He was listed on the depth chart, so there's reason for optimism there. Other than that, it was kind of status quo. Andrew Booth rolled an ankle Saturday, right towards the end of what we got to watch. It didn't look like anything serious. They were taping him up when we left. I didn't actually see it. One of my colleagues told me about it, but he didn't think it was anything serious. But outside of that, just not, it's kind of status quo. I thought normally the practices I go to, they're very business-like. It's a lot of, it's real. I don't want to say all serious and no play, because it looks like there's a lot of fun being had at practices, but there was a different vibe around these practices. Guys were very loose, having fun. I thought Dabo Swinney looked as refreshed and as energized as I've seen him all season long. He kind of looks like a new guy. At times this season, it looked like this season it was wearing on him a little bit, but he looks very re-energized right now.
Well, I got to think a couple things are at work there. Number one, they finished strong, so it's not like they limped down the stretch. Obviously, they didn't look good mid-season. That's when they had most of their problems, but they finished strong. And then on top of that, doesn't have the pressure for the first time since 2014, doesn't have the pressure of preparing a team for a college football playoff game.
Yeah, that's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. And before I touch on that, one thing I forgot to add about practice. For the periods we were watching, Hunter Rayburn was taking first-string reps at center. Mason Trotter had started the last couple of games. He was taking reps at left guard. And on the depth chart, Trotter still listed as the center. So make of that what you will. It was Rayburn taking the first-string reps of what we got to watch. Now, that don't mean he's going to start. I'm just telling you what I saw. But, yeah, as far as not playing in a playoff game, that's going to be an interesting storyline for me. None of these kids on this team have ever played in a bowl game that wasn't a playoff game. They're going to get to Orlando next week or whenever they get there, and the red carpet's not going to be rolled out for them, so to speak, like it would be at a playoff game. They're going to quickly realize that this isn't like other years. There's not going to be nearly the focus and attention on this game that they're accustomed to in the past. And I'm kind of curious to see how they deal with all that. They're not even with the game being right after Christmas. They're not the program's not even chartering a flight for the team to fly in together. They're going to be responsible for getting there on their own. If I'm what I'm told is correct. So it's going to be real interesting to see how all that plays out, because this is going to be a different stage for these players, a one that they have yet. Nobody on this roster has played on this kind of stage yet, just kind of like a meaningless bowl game. And, for what it's worth, we've seen not one player opt out, not even Andrew Booth, who, like I said, he rolled an ankle the other day. He could have easily opted out for this game. Most have him penciled in as a late first-round draft pick, and it would have been easy to understand why he would.
And I don't think we can look at other programs, whether that's Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, those kind of programs that expect to be in a playoff, and then when they're not in a playoff, get a good read, because sometimes those teams roll over and you get the feeling, okay, yeah, they kind of checked out and they didn't really buy into this whole thing, and they didn't show up. But then there's plenty of probably more examples of programs like that still showing up, taking care of business, taking care of the task at hand, and still rolling past and through whoever's in their way.
Yeah, I'm going to be real interested to see which, how this Clemson team shows up. It was real hard to get a good read on the mood at practice. Like I said, it was real laid back. It looked like the guys were having fun, but it just didn't seem to have that business-like feel of other practices I've been at, if that makes sense.